Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone who rule well. And Shalom to the brothers doing the work of sincerity and truth. Um, yeah. Got this article on CNN Business. It's funny because it's kind of touching on, things I spoke about a few videos back. About how this monetary situation, the cost of goods is looking to go up. And it's this is like consumer goods, but also gas prices have gone up off the back of that hack of what I can't remember the name of it, something oil. One of like, I think it was one of the biggest oil suppliers. Like, they supply what, almost half of oil to the east coast, so gas prices are going up. And as far as that hack, it's not even known like the timeline for getting shit back on track. But yeah, well, I should say I haven't looked into it. But yeah, it's it lets you know that climate's gonna get worse, and now as well, especially with um more on Europe side, like the UK, it's kind of things open up. Uh, yeah, things open up. So people are what's the word? Optimistic, but you still got furlough. You still got it's basically this isn't the final stage of how things are gonna shake down. There's certain things still need to lock in so they can be felt. So this is what prices are rising everywhere you look. Oh me, oh my. Everywhere you look, there are headlines about higher prices. Some are tied to commodities, which are getting snapped up as the global economy emerges from its long slumber. Lumber prices are an all-time high, thanks to an epic home building boom. Yeah, and house prices have fucking been skyrocketing all over. And it's there done been bubbles in. I know I'm most familiar with London's, but London's done had bubbles in the housing market for a while, and a lot of it is like foreign investors. So I was like, boy, it's a lot of shit can go sideways. And this is the thing. It's the same thing with back in 2008. It's like one pillar of the economy crumbles, the whole thing's done. This whole thing's in the can, and it always is preceded by what, them all-time highs. Everyone's making money hand over fist in a like stock market and whatnot. So this is what copper and steel prices have reached records. Agricultural products aren't exempt. The price of corn is at its highest level since 2012. Same goes for soybean prices. Even sales of block cheese futures have been soaring in anticipation of grilling season. Then there's consumer products. Diaper prices have gone up in the past year, and the two major producers, Kimberly-Clark and Procter and Gamble, have warned customers that fresh hikes are coming. Shortages. Yeah, it's actually wild. Imagine like people are really gonna think everything's fine just because they can go, and presently, the nappies still cost whatever much. But that's the thing, is these things, like, you're gonna feel like you only feel them later on, further down the line. It's not evident straight away. Um, and what it says, what shortages of computer chips, meanwhile, happen to push up car prices and could soon do the same for electronics and household appliances. And that shortage has been happening for fucking ever. And I know how them prices change. I remember way back, when was it? I think it was Thailand might have had a tsunami, and then like hard drive prices went fucking up. They'd been dropping for like year on year for time. Then the prices just shot up for a while. So And for microchip computer chips, it's funny as well. It's computer chips. Wonder why? It's if it's because preparation is being done for that mark to be rolled out. Funny as hell. Um, it says, meanwhile, helping to push up car prices because it's the same for electronics and household appliances. Yeah, so then it's like, people going to get a TV, people going to get, well, it said cars, yeah, because all cars are smart now. What the fuck else? Household appliances. We need a new boiler next winter. All kinds of shit. People, hey, it's gonna be felt. This doesn't just matter for Americans guarding their pocketbooks. Price increases are also being closely scrutinized by investors and economists who are desperate to know, is this a passing phenomenon as the country emerges from a once-in-a-lifetime economic shock, or a more sustained trend that evokes the 1970s? The answer to that question will have huge consequences for financial markets. If the Federal Reserve starts to think that there's a real problem with inflation, it could boost interest rates or taper its bond purchases sooner than expected. That would spark a dramatic sell-off in high-growth assets, whose rise has set the tone for investing in the pandemic era. But wait, the Federal Reserve has been extremely clear that it believes inflation will be transitory. An episode of one-time price increases as the economy reopens is not the same thing as, and is not likely to lead to, persistently higher year-over-year inflation into the future. Indeed, is the Fed's job to make sure that does not happen. Yeah, which is what they're saying. But that's the thing is even that one-time price hike, that's still gonna fuck people over. It's like with the lockdowns where they're like, oh, the with the lockdowns happening, it's just you go in, blah blah blah, get a government. No, there's people that are toast. They're done. Like they're not coming back. Hella businesses were toast. Hella the middle class were absolutely destroyed off that. And they ain't coming back. So that's the thing is these things are being done to filter out a lot of those businesses, because that's who's been eating the crunch, man. And that's why you had videos of like guys who were, I think it was New York. Well, I saw a video where there's a guy who said like he was following the regulation, but then someone came in and said, "Oh, you're still getting fined. You still got shut down." And he was just like, "Yo, how am I meant to pay my rent?" But that's it. So a lot of them smaller businesses are toast. That's why Amazon, Tesla, Apple, Google, all these companies are the big companies. They made money hand over fist, man. They increased like by hundreds of millions. But then the smaller companies are done. They turned to ash, man. They got snapped. Most economists agree with this view, even if they admit we're in unprecedented territory. Which, yeah, that's it. They're talking out their ass because they're basically just saying like, look, oh guys, don't worry. But they tell that to the guy who he's done, he's toast. His family business, been working on for the last 8 years, is toast. But then that shows the time, man. Because that family business anyway is, mate, you're gonna have to get the chip to maintain that family business real soon. So what does it say? In a paper published on Friday, top economists including Lawrence Ball of Johns Hopkins University and Geeta Gopinath, the chief economist at IMF, said they expected a rise in inflation that is modest and temporary, and note that the government spending under the Biden administration doesn't appear to be a threat. Which don't make no fucking sense, because like Biden's done like what? Trump just before did, was it 2 trillion or 1 point something? I don't know. But then it's like the second one, but first one Biden did was 2 trillion. And the infrastructure one he's trying to get through is another 2.1, 2.2 trillion. I'm like, bro, I don't know how printing all that fucking money is meant to not have some form of impact or not some kind of threat. That means that shitloads of people's savings have just been nuclear bombed, man. the value of it has just been completely decimated. But then that's how fucked it is. Um, Overall, we see little risk that the current temporary government spending for pandemic relief causes an inflationary spiral. It's not just relief. That relief is barely a part of it, because even with what they're trying to get through is what infrastructure, and then the majority of the pandemic relief was just chucking money and deals at people who are friends of the government. It's which is the same thing Esau's always done with these governments, man. Like what happened in the UK when they said, oh, blah blah blah, PPE and certain things. They gave out some fat billions of dollars worth of contracts, and then man didn't do shit. Man were laughing, pocketing that shit. But that's how Esau's system runs. Everything's corrupt. Everything's completely just uh no, yeah, corrupt. Everything's about self-interest, monetary gain. It's all for the love of money. That's how Esau moves, and and it trickles down, man. So, well, as the leaders are, so are they, the people, because that's how the elites have functioned and operated the society. So that's all that everyone's in the same mindset of, man. Everyone's in that same hedonistic mindset of just gaining, as much. No matter who you fuck over, no matter what vow acts you have to do, just get money and live it up. Additional spending proposal, infrastructure, jobs, and healthcare. The economists added are worth money. Oh, okay, so yeah, so now they're saying it's worth monitoring. So and the thing is that as much is as much, if not more. I think it was a touch. Well, not altogether more, but for the second Biden package, it's equivalent level of money. So I'm just like, oh, like what? But it says what? But since it's likely to be spread over a longer tax period and be partially offset by tax measures that could limit overheating concerns. Funny thing is they say the tax is going to cover it, but these men ain't going to be paying tax like the large corporations. You had a few people in Europe chasing up Google, chasing up Apple for taxes, but in the US, them men ain't paying no fucking tax. They might have that shit on lock. Facebook and whatnot as well. It's like that tax money don't exist. Private equity is targeting sport. Okay, but yeah, that's the main part. Second Ezra is 15 and 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Yeah, so just as with Egypt before, this place is getting smitten with the same plagues, and that's why it's we had the complete destruction of Egypt happening, to the point where before even the final plagues had come, yeah, the man just saying to like about the Pharaoh, like, yo, doesn't he realize Egypt's already fallen, it's already done. And it's really the same with this place. This place is already fallen. It's already in disrepair. That's why Trump campaigned on what make America great again, because it's evident it's in decline. It's been in decline, and that spirit's been taken off it to where now it's clear. There's nothing but contention, nothing but racial tensions, nothing but a completely rigged monetary system, completely rigged the whole the exposure of how this policing system's goes down as well, and even the so-called judges, the judgment systems, them things are complete. All that is being clear. Everything's rigged against Jake. Because why? Because that place is a prison camp, a hellscape for the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American man. Says they wait, hold on. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one person shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Yeah, people have been going to war for the longest, for like the last 5-6 years. That's all you've seen. Whenever one of these protests come out, someone else comes to counter protest. They might end up bashing each other over the head. The cops come and start bashing people over the head. People start chucking rocks, bricks, whatever. Everything goes into complete disrepair, and it shows how, just how completely mad this America's gone way far away from the so-called, the time when America was meant to have been great, which even then it wasn't great. It was basically utilizing transatlantic slave trade to springboard its economy to the top, and then sneaking in after World War II as well to to basically set itself up as a superpower. And hey, these are the things, but that was for an express purpose, and now it's in decline, and that decline set up for an express purpose as well. What for the rise of Israel after? Says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, that lack of bread, that great tribulation. These are the reasons why. And that's the thing, is going to be a combination of of plagues, of different tribulations hitting you at once. It ain't just gonna be one thing. It's gonna be, everyone's gonna be hit and be overwhelmed, man. As one hits you, then another one gets you, and you get swept to your feet by another one. Another one stamps you out whilst you're already on your back. That's how it's gonna feel with how all these judgments are gonna come out, man. And that's really how it is. It's people are anxious about when some shit goes down, but it's gonna be terrible. But yeah, that food, that as well, being able to eat that's core to to a lot, man. It's like once people can't eat, that's when absolute insanity comes out, man. And that's when you see shit start to go sideways, man. But yeah, yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, Yabashim Yashab, Hashem Kakadash Bakata. Shalom.